Hi everyone. Um, we are moving to third module, that's about BJT. So far we have learned many things about PN junction. So here we are going to learn something deep about PN junction. If we have a two junction together, what will happen? Keep remembering one thing, whatever the whole electron behavior inside the PN junction in forward bias and reverse bias, that would remain same everywhere, no change in that. So let's begin with the discussion of bipolar transistor by considering a reverse bias PN junction diode. We have seen reverse bias, application of reverse bias in many places so far, like solar cell, photodiode, etc. And so the importance of reverse biasing is large in PN junction applications. So in order to explain the basic fundamentals of BJT operation, we should start with the reverse bias of PN junction diode. So look at this diagram, you can see a PN junction over here and it is reverse biased. That means the N type semiconductor connected to P positive polarity of the battery and the negative polarity of the battery connected to the P type semiconductor, that is known as reverse biasing. So what will happen when we apply a reverse biasing condition to PN junction? There will be a small minority charge transmission or transportation between P to N or N to P. Okay. So what will happen here? The reverse saturation current will be there. When we apply a reverse bias, reverse saturation current will be there. That reverse saturation current through the diode depends on the rate at which minority carriers are generated at the junction. While we apply reverse biasing condition, we know the depletion region would be wide. Okay. So whatever the electron hole pair created inside the depletion region, transition region, because of the strong electric field inside the region, this charge carriers will depart from the depletion region. That all we have seen in previous classes. So here majority charge carriers are holes in the p-type semiconductor and electron in n-type semiconductor. Once we apply the reverse biasing condition, the reverse saturation current will appear across the junction. So that the current especially depends on the generation of electron hole pair, but without external interference, how the electron hole pair generated inside the transition region? It's a difficult task. Okay, so just assume a hypothetical situation like we are exposing this PN junction towards light energy photon, okay, with energy should be greater than the band gap of the semiconductor. Once a photon with an energy greater than band gap falling on the PN junction, definitely there will be electron hole pair creation, and that electron will drag towards N region and the hole will drag towards the P region, and we can read a current externally. Okay, so the if more number of photon is falling on this depletion region, definitely you could see a huge current. You can read a huge current in external circuitry. But problem is that it's impossible to maintain a light source always in order to get a current. So what is the solution for that? Okay, so when we see, this is just a characteristic diagram of a PN junction at reverse bias. We have seen this diagram many times. Okay, the current is depends on reverse saturation current is depends on the generation rate, GOP, generation rate. If more photons are falling, more reverse current will flow through the junction. So as I told before, it's impossible to maintain always a light source in order to get a current externally. So what is the solution for that? Okay, so let's see that, the convenient method of accomplishing this is optical excitation. That's what I told before. We are exposing the PN junction towards the light that leads the generation of electron-hole pair at the transition region, which gives us a current externally. Okay, so look at this diagram once again. Look at this diagram. The same diagram, whatever the diagram I have shown the previous slide, the same diagram, just I flipped N and P region. The diagram, just the figure is flipped, and still this is in reverse bias condition. You can see negative polarity of the battery connected to p-type semiconductor, and positive polarity of battery connected to n-type semiconductor. So this is still reverse bias. Just think that I have a device which automatically inject the hole to the N region continuously with a certain rate. What will happen if that is the case? So continuously hole is injecting to the N region. Okay, the hole will be the minority charge carriers as far as the N-type semiconductor concerned. Okay, so that hole, once we inject the hole, that hole automatically diffuse in the semiconductor, and it reaches transition region. So once it reaches transition region, immediately taken towards the P region. That we know. No need to again explain the same phenomena. That we know. But thing is that this length of the N region should be less than the diffusion length of the holes, definitely. Otherwise, what will happen, once hole injected in the N region, okay, it will diffuse in that N region only, because there are N number of electrons available in the N region. N region is meant for what? It's excess electron presenting area, right? Because majority charge carriers should be the electron. So there are enough number of electrons available. As soon as the hole enter into N region, it try to recombine with the electron and settle down. But the length of the N region should be I can represent the length of the N region should be less than our diffusion length of the holes. So hole will definitely move a small distance. Okay, that is diffusion distance. By the time it reaches transition region and taken into other side, if I inject more number of holes towards the N region, right, I can read a current externally. Okay, that is the solution actually. That's what told here. If injected hole at a certain rate into the N side of the N side of the junction, the current from N to P will depend on the hole injection rate and will be independent of the bias voltage. So we have just reverse bias this PN junction. Whatever the current flow through this junction only because of the holes, this is just for maintaining the reverse biasing condition between this junction. So whatever the current flow through this junction only depends on the injection rate of the holes. But now again question arises, who will continuously supply the holes to the N region? The answer is that a forward biasing PN junction can provide a continuous hole to the N region. This is just forget previous diagram, and this is a fresh diagram. PN junction that is forward biased. That means the N negative polarity of the battery connected to N and positive polarity of the battery connected to P side of PN junction. Definitely this configuration is known as forward biasing. So this depletion region experience a push from both sides, okay, electron and hole. So this will be small definitely. Then the hole will inject from P type semi area to N type area. So this diagram or with this connection can provide a continuous hole to the N region. So what I should do, I'll make these two diagram together. What and all diagram? This previous one and this one. Okay, look at this diagram. So that N type material, that means this area is common for, if you remember the previous two diagram, this is common for both. It's common for both. Okay, see that here we have a PN junction with a forward biasing, and here we have a PN junction with a reverse biasing. Okay, see what will happen? This junction is forward bias. Definitely the hole is going to pass through this depletion region, reaches N region, right? So as soon as the hole reaches the N region, I told before the length of this N region should be less than the diffusion length of the hole. So because of that reason, the hole definitely reaches the depletion region of reverse depletion region, immediately taken to the other side. So the hole injected from here directly traveling to the P region. So here you can see the P plus, the highly doped area, okay, and whatever the hole injecting from the highly doped P area reaches N region, and from N region that is dragged to the P region. I can read a current externally. This is how the PN junction work. If I increase the reverse biasing, if I increase the more reverse biasing, more hole will transfer from P plus region to P through the N region, and I can read a external current here. That's what told here. The convenient hole injection device is forward bias PN junction. So if make N side of the forward junction the same as N side of the reverse bias junction, so this structure you will get P plus N P, and this is my BJT, bipolar junction transistor. So we have a PNP transistor here, and we have to name the area. As the explanation gives, this is basically injecting or emitting the hole to the other area. So this will be our emitter. This will be our emitter. Okay, emitter represented by the term E. And this is the place where all the holes are going to collect. So this is known as collector. So this is actually a base between emitter and collector. We call it as base. Okay, so and this junction is known as emitter junction, and this is known as collector junction. So if I want to work a BJT in normal way, the emitter junction supposed to be in forward bias, and collector junction should be in reverse bias. Okay, so look at this diagram. Here you can see emitter, base and collector, and the holes are injected from the emitter and reaches to the collector through the base region. I just mentioned the width of base is WB. The width of the base means the neutral region of N, not included these two transition region. So when the emitter current is increased, how can I increase the emitter current? Basically, I need to increase the VB. If I increase the VB, the IC also increase. That's what representing here. The ICs keep increasing if I increasing IE. So VCB is actually, this is VCB. And this is my VBE, right? So VCB is this voltage. If I increase this voltage, IC will increase, and that depends on this IE. Okay. This slide says the same thing. Says the same thing. The forward bias junction that inject a hole into the sender N region called emitter junction, and reverse bias junction that collects the injected hole called collector junction. Right? The P plus region which serve as the source of injected hole is known as emitter that emits the hole. And P region into which the holes are swept by the reverse bias junction is called collector, and the middle region is known as base. Okay, so the area from which the holes are injecting is known as emitter. The area in which the holes are collecting, that is known as collector. The area which is in between this emitter and collector is known as base. So, what are the conditions for to have a good PNP transistor? Good PNP transistor. The first requirement, whatever the holes, the total number of holes injected from the emitter should be is equal to the number of holes received by the collector. Okay, so ideally, we will consider like that. Even though we consider like that, practically it may not be. Okay, assume 10 holes are injecting from this side. Okay, 10 holes are injecting from this side, and as per the theory ideal condition, all 10 holes supposed to be collected by this area. But problem is that I told you guys this is a N-type material. There are more number of holes available here. Okay, that 1 or 2 holes will recombine and settle down in the base itself. So only not all 10 will reach here. Only 8 out of 10 maybe reach here. So approximately I can say the current IC is equal to current IE. Okay, because injected hole is equal to collected hole, almost. Okay, so in order to maintain that efficiency, what am I supposed to? I should maintain this, the length of the base region should be less than the diffusion length of hole. Okay, WB should be less than LP. That is the first requirement we are supposed to maintain, where WB is the length of the neutral end region, you can see, right? And LP is the diffusion length of holes in the base. That is the first thing. Second thing, the recombination happening here. Okay, just assume same way, 10 holes are injecting from here. Okay, 10 holes are injecting from this side, and there are enough number of electrons. That means enough number of free electrons. Electron means what? This is actually a good doped semiconductor. That means not a lightly doped, not a heavily doped, but enough number of electrons are available. What will happen, even though the WB is less than LP? Okay, so the chances of recombination of electron hole pair is more here, and one solution is that reduce the free number of electrons by providing a light doping. Okay, the current, that's what told here, the current I crossing the emitter junction should be composed almost entirely of holes injected into the base rather than the electron crossing from the base to emitter. Okay, so this requirement satisfied by doping the base region lightly compared with the emitter. So that if I reduce the number of electron in the N region, that means base region, the recombination will reduce, and the possibility, the chances of transporting electron from base to emitter, even if it is in a forward bias condition, this electron possibility of electron to move from base to collector is also there, right? That is also reduced. So I need to maintain, two conditions in order to get a good transistor. One is WB is less than LP, another one is base region should be lightly doped. So if I compare the doping level of 3 region, emitter is highly doped, represented by P plus, and base is lightly doped. I repeat, emitter is heavily doped, base is lightly doped, and collector is moderately doped. Okay. So look at this diagram. It shows all the current flowing through the junction. What are the currents available? Okay. First, as I said, holes are injecting from P plus region. Okay, that means emitter, and we are expecting 100% of the injected hole reaches the collector, but it will not happen like that, and small amount of the holes going to recombine with electrons in the base region, right? Only remaining holes will reach to the collector. So that is the one current, that is actually the major current flow inside the semiconductor, okay, inside the PN, inside the BJT. Okay. Another one is this region is reverse biased, that means the collector junction is reverse biased. So we know that the reverse bias PN junction constitutes a small reverse saturation current that is represented by this arrow. And other than that, we have a base current. Okay, electrons are available here, right? Electrons are available because this base region is N-type material. Electrons are available here, even though this region, this transition region of emitter transition region is forward bias. The electron may move from base to emitter. Okay, so that's again constitute another small current because of this movement. So these are the possible current inside the PNP transistor. So one current is this, okay, another current is this, that means they're going to recombine with electrons, and third current is this, that means reverse saturation current between the base and collector junction, and there is a, even if there is forward bias, small current constituted because of the electron flow from base to collector. That's what told here. The current IE flows into the emitter of properly biased PN junction, IE, and IC flows out from the collector. Okay, the base current will be very small, the base current will be small, and IC is almost equal to IE. When we do problems, when we design something, we always consider this this situation IC is equal to IE. This will consider in all the design problems. So that's what about IE and IC. If I explain about the base current, okay, these are the two important point with respect to the base current. So there must be some recombination of injected hole with electron in the base, even we maintain this condition. So the base is going to lose some of the electrons. That electron is resupplied by the base current. Okay. Some electron will be injected from N to P in the forward bias emitter junction, even if the emitter is heavily doped compared with the base. This electron also supplied by the base current. Okay. So if you have a confusion, when this hole recombining with electron over here, the base is going to lose some electron. That electron is resupplied by the base current. And even if this emitter is strongly doped, heavily doped, and it is a forward bias, there will be a electron flow from base to emitter. Again, base is going to lose some of the electron because of this transportation. So that electron also resupplied by or replaced by this base current. Okay. So some electrons are swept into the base at the reverse bias collector junction due to thermal generation in the collector. The small current reduces IB by supplying electrons to the base. What does it mean? You look at this, electrons are coming from collector to base. Okay. So electron is resupplied from this electron flow as well sometimes. Then this IB is going to reduce. Okay. So you think logically, you will understand this. So these are the basic thing about the BJT. So keep remember, why do we need emitter, why do we need a base, and why do we need a collector, and why do we maintain a forward biasing condition at the emitter junction and reverse biasing condition at the collector junction, and what are the currents available in the BJT, and in PNP transistor the current is mainly because of the hole injection from emitter to collector through base. Okay. Yes. Thank you.